What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to another video. Now, I'm going to have to start this video off with a bit of an apology. I haven't picked the camera up all week. The main reason being, all I've been doing is sanding. And I figured you didn't want to see loads of sanding. So, what I thought I'd do is get it all out of the way, and then I'll just do a quick roundup and show you and explain a little bit about what I've done in the intro of this video. So here we go. For no other reason than it's where I'm stood. The driver's wing is all sanded and ready to go. Passenger door is. Now, I need a new driver's door and I need a new passenger wing. I've ordered a door, but it's not turned up yet, and I'm in talks with someone about a wing, but I need to move on and try and get some progress sorted on this. So this is sanded up. We've gone through to metal in areas. That's that. The van is obviously all sanded as well, and again, we've gone through into metal areas, some places where I've sanded through. Door is there, sliding door. That's all sanded again as well. Coming around here, tailgate and bonnet, they're lent up there, they're all repaired and a bit of filler in them. Same down there, and then obviously, yeah, the van. There's a few other bits, but I'll talk about them in a minute. So the way I've prepped this is, this side here, you remember we had all of the graphics had been removed, and when they'd done it, parts of the lacquer had been removed. So what I did was 180 grit sandpaper on a DA and worked nice and slowly. I think I showed this in the last video, nice and slowly over the whole panel to feather that out so it was nice and flat again. I then went over the whole van with 240 grit sandpaper on either a DA or a block and green Scotch Brite pad. Once that was all done, I then went over the whole van again with 400 grit sandpaper on a DA or a block and red or burgundy Scotch Brite, which was a finer grit. Now, the areas here, obviously, where I'd gone down to metal, a few of them had got a little bits of rust coming through from stone chips and things, so we crusted them before we did the sanding process. We'd sort of gone down, I've found the areas with 240, sanded them down to the metal area to work out what was going on, feathered it out, crusted it, sorted that out, and then we went through and sanded all of that. So that's how we have done that. Door and everything is obviously over there. So there's a big wall up now. I'm going to show you this. I've mackled myself together a spray booth. So, door in there, and the van is normally worked on round here. So what we've done, this is all wood that was taken out of a building that was being dismantled or taken to pieces and altered when I moved in. And this is just sheeting that we've used on the van. I had loads left. So, coming in here, I built myself a nice little way in. This also, there's bits of wood screwed here. That opens up to be able to get the van in and out. And down here, this is where the filter is going to go to filter the air. So this bit of me explaining the booth and how I've made it and things jumps about a little bit because I'd filmed stuff before and then I'd filmed stuff today. But yeah, stick with it and it'll all make sense. How I've done this and sorted this out is, obviously cleaned and cleared everything off. I have scrapped the Terran as well. That went the other day, went through it and made sure I got everything out of that I needed. But I needed the space to do this. So this is sheeting that we used on the van for the door openings while we were sanding it and sorting it out. I've got quite a lot left from when I did the T5 because this is at least 100 metre roll, I think. It's a lot of material. So what I've done, I went round and I've cleaned these bars, all the long bars on the ceiling, starting with the sides, and then I've put double-sided tape up onto those bars, and we've then got this sheeting, opened it out and stuck that to the ceiling. I've then put double-sided tape on the floor again and stuck it down to make it sort of taut in places. Same on the end, same down that side, same down that side. Now obviously we've not stuck that in down to the floor yet because we need to be able to get in and out and things like that. The other problem I got was this ceiling, when you open the door and the wind comes in, as you've probably seen in a few videos, the ceiling tiles move and this ceiling is absolutely filthy, so dirt and things would have fallen down. So what I've done is, again, we cleaned all these up with the same bottle of car shampoo that we used, cleaned all of them with that because there was a bit of sort of fly poo on there basically. We've gone over and cleaned them all with thinners, and then we put double-sided tape on and then sheeting up and stuck it up, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Actually a hell of a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. Obviously the white of this is really carrying the light from the ceiling lights and from the windows. Yeah, fan, a filter. I've not got any fans, but my thinking with this is going to be, I bought some filters, a metre square filter material that's going to go in that hole there, and it's also going to go in that hole there. I've got a door there, and I've got a door there. So I'm thinking, if I open both doors, we're going to get a bit of a draft going through, and I've sealed everywhere else up, and all of it's all joined. I'll show you how I've done that. And we should get a bit of airflow through to help clear this. We've chucked it on the floor as well, so I just don't go annoying the landlord and getting overspray everywhere. Obviously, it's going to break. We're going to get, there's little holes in it where I've dragged my feet or dragged something across it, but little areas should be easy to clean up than the whole floor. So, in here, we've got the wing mirrors that we're going to put some more primer on. We've got the number plate plinth and the side rub strips off the van. Rear bumper, so I'm going to have to talk to you about this. So I did say I was going to be putting a Mark 4 rear bumper on it. Now, unfortunately, because I've got to buy a wing, the money that I'd earmarked for the rear bumper is going to have to go on buying the wing and that replacement door. So yeah, unfortunately, we're going to be putting the other one back on. Not a problem. I don't think it'll look out of place. It should still look nice. So it's one of them things. I had to make a sacrifice, and I'd rather do that than put on a wing that's got a crease in and have it not looking the best. That should be pretty easy to change if we ever wanted to. Front bumper, we're going to chuck some more on that. Wing mirrors and sliding rail cover, I've had a few of you mention that. I've had that for quite a while. They're all broken down. I'm ready to get some primer on. So, save me keep waffling on and on and on. That's what I've been up to. This is where we're going to be spraying it. So, I better go now, try and mix some paint up, suit up, and we'll have a go at painting. Before we carry on with that then guys, if you haven't already, do please consider hitting subscribe and press that little bell to get notifications of when a new video goes live. I'm trying my hardest to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're already a quarter of the way there, but every single subscription helps get me up to that number to hopefully get that plaque on that wall one day.
Well, seems to have gone alright. Primer on all of it. Primer on the bumpers. Rear is obviously going to need a hell of a lot more work. These are going to need a lot more work as well. But yeah, looking good. And it isn't anywhere near as dusty as I expected. So I think what I'm going to do now that paint's on this paint dries really quick, so I'm going to open that door a little bit and I'll open that door a little bit just to let a bit of airflow through.
I'm going to take that as a success. As you can see from the footage, it didn't get too dusty and misty, if you like, in here. There wasn't too much paint in the air, I don't think. I think these holes at the end are doing a pretty good job. Now, obviously we still need to put the filters on for when we're doing the rest of it, but for priming, I've sort of said, right, we're leaving them as they are. What I've done is I came in, had both the workshop doors closed, chucked some primer on, got a nice good coating on everything, left it, well then opened the doors for about 10-15 minutes, the sort of flash off time that you'd expect from it. Left it to just clear the booth and get it all out. Then I pulled the heater in through the door, chucked the heat on it, it's bloody boiling in here now, to try and get a bit of heat in to try and help aid all of this lot drying. So most of the little bits are dry. Everything has now had a good 2 or 3 coats of high build primer on it. Some of it's had 2 coats because it doesn't necessarily need loads because they're not too bad. But yeah, we've done what I wanted to do. So the bits that are dry I'm going to start taking out. The bumper has had, I've laid loads on that bumper and these side strips to try and get a good covering on them because they were quite textured. But I think we've got enough on. So I'm going to slowly start getting this lot out, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I've got some plastic primer to prime the handles. Now, I've spoken to a couple of people about should I be plastic priming the rear bumper and the rub strips and things like that, and they've said yes and no. They've said it's not a major problem. They go on straight on with high build primer, so I've gone straight on with high build primer. they've said that the plastic primer is more for things that are flexible, that are gonna sort of move more when you're touching them, things. So handles are definitely gonna need to be done. I think pretty much handles is all I've got to do, which is a pain in the arse setting the gun up to do that, but it's what we've got to do, so that's what we'll do. Get them done. Then, I think what I'm gonna do then is we're probably gonna get everything out, get that van in, and we're gonna start etch priming, because I've got some etch priming those patch areas. And I've been told to etch prime, then chuck that on and leave it to flash for 15 or so minutes. Then go straight back over it with the white primer that we're going to be priming the whole van in. So, hopefully today we can get quite a lot of the priming out of the way. Right guys, hopefully you can hear me. I've got the heater on, trying to get it nice and warm in here. I've got the bonnet, the tailgate and the sliding door in the booth. Listen to me thinking I'm a painter. In the tent, I suppose. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to etch prime these areas where I've gone through to the metal. So the primer, the etch primer I'm using is a U-pole, and it's a 1K. So apparently 2K etch primer has got lead in it or something. So yeah, we've got a 1K etch that I'm now going to chuck on all of these bits. Heater's on, try and get it warm, get it dry a bit quicker. Then we'll take these out and I'll bring in the door that I've got, the passenger door and the wing. We'll chuck a little bit on them bits. Oh, actually, tell a lie. No, I won't. As soon as these backs are done and dry, we'll flip them over. We'll do the outsides as well. And then when they're done, we'll take them out. We'll get the door, the wing in, do both the back and the front of whatever we need to do of them. And then when they're done, we'll pull the van in, get the van done. So, chuck this on my head, and we'll get this going. Little quick check-in. So back to these doors and the bonnet are all etch primed from where I sanded through to areas. Now obviously I've gone over, I've not just limited it to that area, we've spread it about a little bit, nice feather it out. Feels, got to admit, feels nice, it's about dry now. And there's a couple of areas that aren't quite. So what I'm going to do is sling these over to the other side and we'll do the outside of these as well. It's mega hot in here. I've got this, it's like we've got a heated booth with that heater on. I flip these over, prime the bits on the outside, and then let them dry, and then we'll get the other doors and parts in and do them. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that has helped given advice on paint processes and everything like that, because I really didn't have a clue before. I can't name everyone, and I can't remember everybody's name. I have been talking though quite a lot recently to Tony's Refinishing on YouTube. Real nice guy, he's been giving me some great advice and his videos are absolutely brilliant. I'll put a link in the description to his channel as well. Go and check him out, as his videos really have answered a lot of questions I had about processes and steps and just basically how to do it and what to do when painting, what materials to use, etc. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Go and give his channel a watch, give him a sub as well. Real nice guy and very helpful. I also want to say thank you to Breakwells Paints for supplying me with the paint gun, with the paint, with all the filler and everything to make this all possible and hopefully get this van looking a hell of a lot better. I'll put a link in the description to their website and their social media accounts. As I said in the last video, their website hasn't got everything on at the minute. They're currently building a new one, but go and check them out. All your paint needs and everything, Breakwells will be able to sort you out. I also want to say a massive thank you to James at SprayHub Ltd, my friend who painted the bumper the last time. He's showed me a few bits of setting up, mixed me some paint up this morning as well and showed me ratios and things. So yeah, go and check James out at SprayHub Ltd on Instagram too. He paints some amazing bits of furniture and some real nice kitchens too. So yeah, go and check him out. Back in here then, all changed about. The parts that we've already just primed are leaning up out of the way. I don't have to keep moving them in and out. I've got a good drummer of brackets and badges and handles and things. Door and wing sat there, ready to go. So, already got some paint in there, 1K, so I don't have to worry about it going off too much. Shook the GoPro on and get a little bit more primer on. Right then guys, I am very near to the point of where I wanted to be at by the end of today, and it is nearly the end of the day, which was having the van in the booth. We're going to give it a clean down now, and then we're going to start, well, we're going to etch prime all the areas that I've sanded through down to metal. Now, spray booth is made out of sheeting and pieces of timber that I found around the farm. I made myself a little door as well. So, the way that we close it up, what I'd show you, pull this down here. Obviously goes onto this side here. Got another bit of wood here with some screws in. You push that on and clamp the material in between, screw it up, and it holds it on, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's not going to last much after this job, but yeah, so I've made a little spray booth. So let's get in here, get this all back down, get this all cleaned, and start priming this. There we go then, my first day of spraying, priming in my own workshop. Now, some of you are going to go, what are you put it on there for? Stuff's on here. We've got all of these bits are in high build. We've got all of these bits up here are in etch primer. We've got these bits hanging in here, which are in plastic primer. We've got the front bumper down here, which is in high build, and the rear bumper, which is in high build, which I've had a go at, and it's going to stand up real nice. And then stepping into my little spray booth, in here we've got the passenger side door, the tailgate, the bonnet, the wing, and the sliding door, all in my spray booth tent. That have been etch primed where we've rubbed through, and I've just done the shell as well. So anywhere that we'd rub through, got all the bits on the roof as well, anywhere that we'd rub through is now etch primed, which is eating into the metal and making it stick to the van. So yes, we've achieved what I wanted to today. That was my goal, was to get everything in etch primer, meaning I can next week give it all a quick wipe over and get everything in white primer, because I'm going to be white priming everything to give us the same base on all surfaces to then be able to paint the base coat onto. So that's that. That will then hopefully be in next week's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you haven't already, do please consider clicking subscribe. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying my hardest to get to 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Until next time, enjoy.